You're live. All right. Not sure how good this is going to be. Hello. Just testing my MacBook, everyone. Just random for the first time. Not a lot of light. Probably because it's winter here and it's all so dark. Trying to adjust everything here. And that seems okay. So, yeah, I'm just random here, just saying hello in my little space here. And just thinking of moving forward. As you can see, it's very white out there. I posted earlier about that actually. Oh, the snow's like up to my window here. Hmm. So it's been a while since I've actually been live, so I figured I may as well show people that I'm still here, right? So I had a bulb in my eye. It's recovering now. Had to get it frozen, skin tags. So some people for a while they were like, "Oh, you got like beaten up or something," and it wasn't anything like that. It's just ugh. So that's healing now. I think you can still see it a little bit down here. It's all scarred up, but it's going to take a while, I think. Hopefully it's not going to stay that way, but whatever. So now that's fixed, hopefully. So that's one in part why I was not showing my face for a while, because this thing was like, it was like this big while it was healing and scabbing over. So now it's pretty well fine, just a little thing. So hopefully it's gonna go away completely. I hope it does, because it's been like a month. It's driving me nuts, actually. Right in the wrong place too, where everybody sees it. What's that you got there under your eye? No, nothing. Just a little skin tag and then got removed and now it's healing. But it made a big show, right? People never noticed the skin tag. But when I got um, the liquid nitrogen cooling, to freeze it off. And after it started to heal, that's when everyone noticed it because it like grew like 4 times the size, and it was like, "What's going on there?" Uh, but needless to say, that's that. As we grow older, things happen, right? I'm actually going to be. I'm not proud of it, but I'm going to be 40 in February 20th. So I started wondering what happened in the last 10 years, actually. So I'm happy to see that. I think my MacBook is working. I'm live and people are saying hello, afternoon, hello, everyone. So that's a good sign that everything is working. Finally, put some usage to this MacBook here, other than just being a glorified calculator for me. But I think my audio is a little bit low. It seems that maybe it's just the mic here. I don't know where the controls are for that, but people seem okay. Nice. So I hope everyone's doing okay today. As I said in the title, no specific things on the agenda today, just going live. It's one of those days. Behind me, I've been experimenting with those capacitors, as I've explained in some of my earlier videos here, with the DC without a rectifier effect, which is very interesting. I'm sure most of you have saw one of those videos by now. So I'm not doing much with that today here. I have some ideas, but I'm kind of sidetracked because what's going on now, the company was in the process of changing its business name, taking on the old Energen X name. And yeah, so that's been pretty busy. And then we have job applications. And of course, the company has its specific goals. So when you talk about open systems, right, coupling with the environment, it can be the wind, it could be the solar, it can be the electromagnetic fields, it could be the earth currents. You've got an ample amount, and I guess not one person can cover it all, basically, right? And personally, I have interests too. Some of them may not have much commercial value, right? So looking at the business side of things, they're not too interested. For example, in my power cells, which I personally am fascinated with. Like I always have. There's a few here, some of my ones from like a year and a half ago, still working fine. I get it, it's not going to run a house, but for me personally, to understand the dynamics of electrostatic effects and things like that, I like venturing for myself into that kind of stuff once in a while. And I still do, but I just got to figure out how to divide my time, right? So I can be my best for the company and still, be able to provide for my own personal hobbies. I mean, um, but it's very close, right? What I'm into is very much a lot in line with what the company wants, but it's just at the end of the day, there has to be a bit of a commercial aspect to it. And yeah, there's a lot to look at, especially taking the open source, what is now Bedini, and enhancing and modifying all that with all with what we know today. So work with the base layer and enhance from that. And obviously, the hot thing these days is solid state, right? A lot of people like that as well. So there's multiple ways. Mechanics are simpler to prove a point, right? Because it's visual, it's nice, it's your aha, it makes noise and sparks and everything. But at the end of the day, personally myself, I want solid state. But it's not. It doesn't make as much of a that someone who doesn't understand. And for example, like take this thing here. To someone who doesn't understand, it's a transformer, right? So this thing sits on the platform and it goes, and I tell you, voila, here's your free energy, right? Simplified, obviously. I'm just saying, let's say I have something with this, and all it does is, and I've got a whole bunch of investors here, and I'm trying to prove the point, right? They're going to scratch their heads and go, well, does it do anything, right? Meanwhile, you got something like Bedini that's spinning in the air, doing a bunch of noise, and it's doing sparks, and you've got, neons flashing and batteries charging, and oh my glory, give me all your money. It's kind of weird how it works in the world, but commercially you have to go with one flow, and then for research in another, right? So I'm trying to they hit both sides at once, if that makes any sense. But again, at the end of the day, you just can't do it all. There's just too much to explore out there. So just checking out everyone here. It's nice that everyone's on here and saying hello. So yeah, systems. There are so many possibilities depending what you want. And something that's becoming really hot these days, when I say non-commercial quality power, maybe that's becoming more and more false because we have the IoTs, the LoRaWAN and all that kind of stuff, and sensors, wireless sensors, and mini computers, essentially, that all have a wireless infrastructure grid. That stuff is becoming hot for being powered by environmental sources, where you could just have a few nanowatts to run the whole probe. That could be a humidity sensor or something that send something across the property. But there's more and more of that, and it's becoming utilized industrial and commercial. And obviously things like my little power cells here can power these things, no problem. So in one side of the coin, there is becoming an industry, an application for the micro power stuff. Maybe we're not there yet, but maybe in 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a specific application just for that. Because they're already doing research for rectennas and the microwave bands to try and, siphon, a few nanowatts from the cell phone tower to run these IoT devices. So, yeah, there is an active research in the area because they know that technology is going to become the future industrial-wise, for when it comes to sensors and communications wirelessly. So yeah, still pretty a specific industry, but it's just an example of before you wouldn't want to talk about like Tesla technologies and things like that, but if you frame it in the EE literature for IoT power harvesting, all of a sudden, oh, it's accepted because it suits their agenda all of a sudden, right? So yeah, I guess you got to play the game in this world. You got to go at their pace, not at what you necessarily know and what you can do and scare everyone off. So I do my own thing in the background and I do what they ask me, and I try and recommend what commercially we can do to get us there. But there's so much out there, right? So much out there. So now I'm trying to refine these new power cells, a new recipe, let's just say, which is more like a capacitor. It works a lot more like the John Hutchinson, the original cells. It's in a cylinder. I used a paper towel roll to hold the whole thing together. So yeah, it's very interesting, working very well. So one long story short, I'm trying to figure out, since I think I understand how it works. So I want to build, I wouldn't say Zamboni pal because that would be wrong because it's not that kind of a cell, but the same idea where I want to build multiple ones that are identical. And I'd like to bring it up to about 150 volts. So I think you see where I'm going with that, right? Because it seems like the one cell is putting out around 25 MAs at like 1.6 volts. So if I'm getting like trying to keep the cells as symmetrical as I can, I'm thinking, 26 MA at 150 volts. The pure potential on its own, you see what I'm getting at, gives you more power output at the end. So with something like a simple, what do I have here? One of these things here, vibrators for crude AC generation, analog. You run one of these on there, chops it through a transformer or isolator, whatever, we get AC. You see what I'm getting at? So 120 volt AC, and this thing inherently vibrates at 60 hertz. So all of a sudden, am I running like 25-watt light bulbs off this thing? Mains, LEDs and cell phone chargers, and I might be able to. So that's what is very interesting, and that's what I'd like to do. But the problem, well, not really a problem. I actually have the money for it, but I need about $1,000 in magnesium plates. I know it sounds ridiculous, right? So I've been debating to myself, if I really want to do it just to prove a point. But then again, in the commercial market, in the industrial sector, if you make an idea and then you scale it commercially, all of a sudden that's like $100 worth of parts, right? If you're buying like 1,000 at a time. But it's actually the prototyping, which can cost you so much money when you have to buy everything individually just to test a concept, a theory, an idea, and you're still not sure if it's going to work at the end of the day, right? So I find $1,000 of plates essentially to do this is interesting, yeah, I have the money, but am I wasting it? But for science, it wouldn't be wasted. I'm not saying it's for my company. This is for myself. Maybe I'd give it to the company if they find value in it. But as far as I can tell, that's not what they're interested in. But it's something I'm interested in. John had it running, mains light bulbs. So maybe I could do the same thing. So what fascinates me is the power is there. With my latest composition, it's not like the peg cells give me about 1 MA on a good day, basically. And these things here are giving me over 25 MA. And the voltage is a lot higher per unit, right? So over 1.6 volts per capacitor, if you want to call it that. 25 to 26 MA. So that's why I'm scratching my head, right? It sounds little, but once you boost it to like 150 volts, and then I can go nuts and go like 220, but that would cost a lot of money. Set up a mechanical three-phase out of it. I'm speaking stupid there. I really am. I'm just reading the comments here. Yeah. That would be something. Simulated three-phase. Three units of 150 volts. Yeah, that would probably work actually. I'm sorry. Sometimes I say things and then it resonates in my mind after it's a joke, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, might not be a joke after all. Yeah. So, what else is new? Company stuff moving forward, looking for staff. Um, Change the name to Energen X, following in Bedini's footsteps, as you can see from the prototype project we're working on, the flagship, what I call, the visual distraction, because it looks good, right? Like I said, it has to make a lot of noise, it has to flash, it has to go boom, then everybody's mesmerized by it, right? But you show them a little thing the size of your hand that could do the same thing, and they're like, nah. But if I could make it, I'll make it. No problem there. So that's that. Oh, something I was going to do here. Not even sure what this is. Got it on eBay. Price seemed okay. From Ukraine. Guy called it a Vortex generator, experimental Soviet kind of stuff. So I'm going to probably open it up and see exactly what's inside. I think it's like, I'm going to guess and say it's a torsion field generator. They were really into that stuff. So I really don't know. I just got it in the mail today, and the guy said it's working. I don't know what he means by vortex, but we'll soon find out. I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna take it apart live if I can without breaking it. It looks like it's one, two, just 4 star screws. Could it be that simple? Holding all of this together. It's all written in, I assume, Russian. We'll see what's inside of here. Hopefully a mouse doesn't come out. I think it's maybe a torsion coil or something. Seems really heavy. I guess there's a power supply in here. Might be mechanical too. Might be like spinning magnets. Might be spinning magnets. I figured I might be able to use it for something. Experiment with it, or if it's what I think it is, see what it does to capacitors nearby. I had a little what you call the torsion coils. It was just a small one. It ran off a USB port. Okay, let's carefully take the cover off of this thing. That's interesting. Never seen anything quite like it. I don't even know how to begin. It's a core. It's a circular core. So it's like a motor. Well, basically is a motor in the middle. Okay, so it's a motor, and this motor has 1, 2, 3, 4 coils all around the core, and the rotor starter, whatever you want to call it, is right in the middle here. And looks like they've got 2 magnets in here. I think I'll show you. And this spins in there, and the field Very much, I guess, something I made like this. I called it the Tesla mind machine, actually. I had a motor with magnets that spin. So, I just think, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they put a lot of, they made the motor a lot more complicated than what it has to be. But there's settings here. I'm not sure what they do. I know one is speed, obviously. I guess one is rotation because there's left and right polarity. So that's what it is. It's actually a torsion if it's magnets spinning around. So they're experimenting with the curl and the curve of time, I guess. There's theory, not theory, but legend about this stuff that they created some sort of quantum what am I trying to say here? Quantum entanglement between two of these things, and you can send messages across. I mean, the Russians played a lot with this stuff. So what I see is speed control, left and right, and I guess on off. That seems to make sense. And this thing here is just a motor spinning two magnets. Hmm. So basically a Polish version of something I built before. Run the thing. The problem is it's 220. Can you believe it? 220. I mean, they really the motor is like pretty primitive. Maybe they maybe there's a reason. Because you see, maybe because the magnetic field of the motor, the electric field in the motor and the magnetic, right? I think it's part of the whole design, actually. I'm gonna put the cover. Okay, so they actually had a thing to show you where the field was coming from. So that's what it is for magnetic, what they call vortex generator. Russian tools, yeah. So that's a piece of history right there, I guess. Old Russian lab equipment. Just gonna put it back together here. So just don't mind me, I'm just taking a moment to, if I get quiet here, trying to line the screws back in here. That's kind of cool because I see this built by them, right? And we don't have much documentation on this stuff. And they were the ones who experimented, the Russians, the Soviets actually, the most with this kind of stuff. And I had built something very similar and I called it Tesla's mind machine. If you want to look in my video history, it's still there. And I have to give myself a pat in the back because I basically built a smaller version, but the same thing with this, with just my hunch on how it would work, right? Based on the information. So that's pretty cool. That to me confirms, that I actually did it right for that. So yeah, as I said, this is rated for 220. So unless I want to take my heater apart here and tap off of that, I'm gonna put that on the side burner for now. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, but I think that overly complicated motor has something to do with the fields. Because I had a coil as well, but I had it on top of the magnets. I think they're doing like a hybrid. They're using the field of the motor with the magnet. 'Cause that's a really, really big motor for just a little magnet. You know what I'm trying to say? I think it's all part of, this big for the motor for a little, all the coils all around. No, I think it's all part of the design actually, which means it ran on 60 hertz. 60 hertz. I don't know what their idea was when making, a vortex at 60 hertz. Well, not the spinning part, obviously, but well, a mystery that we're probably never going to solve. So that's that with that one. So yeah, need help on a MacBook. Yeah, well, I was just trying to figure out how to get, the first time when you log into everything and it wants to validate and then your tablet dings and it's just so much nowadays. So I was like, is it going to work? Is it going to work? That's all it was. I hate always having to reconfigure a new device. It's a one-time thing and then it's okay after, obviously. So I wasn't sure about the settings, if like the volume is basically I've done Linux, I've done Windows, I actually have Ubuntu on my big laptop, but the Mac thing is pretty new to me, believe it or not, the OS and how everything is just on one button. I'm used to having the left and right click, and then I can never find the other, it's weird, and I don't know where that menu is. And I find it's very long having to go and scroll right to your top bar to find what you get when you would literally right click into it before. And the mouse on the actual MacBook, like the pad, it seems like it's just one click. There's no left and right. It's just one click. So it's just a bit of getting used to, I guess. Other than that, I think it's okay. The phone sucks too. Their phone sucks too. Yeah, I've got an old one, and I don't even want to upgrade it because it like makes me swear essentially. So no, this was I had it here for not a while because it's pretty new. It's the I don't even know what it is. I should look it up about this MacBook Air, MacBook Air M2. That's what it is. It's just been sitting here for like 6 months, right? So I'm like, well, I'll configure it and figure it out because I'm used to the stuff I already have. I mean, I've got two Omens, and the latest Omen, which is like the 2025 edition with the RTX 9080, which is pretty cool because it's like 16 gigs of GPU just for a laptop. I like that. And the laptop itself has like 64 gigs of RAM. So that's the one I have Ubuntu on, actually. I do a lot of AI with it because OpenAI, ChatGPT, they really crippled my poor Tom Bearden AI. That used to work so well at one time, but they cramped it down. It's pretty well. It's still there, but it's basically useless. It's like talking to a 5-year-old now. I hate it so much, and it still has my name behind it, unfortunately. But with that said, I use my own AI as much as I can, and that's part of it for that laptop. I just wanted to, maybe, and I'm thinking maybe in the summertime, building a new system, the desktop version, with a couple of RTX cards. They're 24 gigs each, I would think, something like that. So load a bit bigger models with that. I'm already loading like 27B, and it runs, I mean, about half the speed of ChatGPT on there, so it's pretty acceptable. But it's not like I could make it public or anything. But if I were to build a desktop version, it would probably work pretty well. I'm sure I've got a handful of people who would like to use it. How many feet of snow out there? Well, on the other side of my apartment here, it's all the way up to the roof. Posted a picture if you want to see in the community today on YouTube, and it's all the way up to the roof. There's two apartments in the front. The doors, or they're all you can't even get out. It's all snowed in right to the top. Their windows, their door, their porch area. I'm snowed in about all the way up to my windows here on the other side of the building. I didn't get. I was, they got the most of where the wind direction was coming in from the storm, so it all accumulated more on that side, as you can see in the pictures. It's crazy. I've never seen it. I know I'm in Canada, northern Canada, but especially in November, I've never seen that much snow in my life, and early in November to begin with. And we're not even in December yet. So I don't know. Thinking of moving, really am just hanging tight because I'm not sure what's going on with the company, where our lab and R&D area is going to be for the research and development. Because I'm obviously going to be on site wherever that's going to be. And they're busy figuring that out now. So I don't want to make any drastic moves, like, oh my goodness, British Columbia or whatever. And oh, got to move to the US 2 months down the road or something, right? It's a big deal to move, especially, when you accumulate and, like me, as such as it is, all this stuff behind me, it's, you don't want to trash everything either just because you're moving. But honestly, I got to get out of here. It's too cold. We get like 1 month of summer if we're lucky. It's nuts. By the time, and it's a quick month, right? In theory, it wouldn't be so bad. But if it's cloudy for like 3 weeks of the July, and you get one weekend and summer's over, and you're like, oh my goodness, what happened? Yeah, we had 3 weeks of crap, and summer's over, and it's becoming more and more like that. And it's like, ugh. And as I'm getting older, it gets right into my bones and my tremors. I just can't stand it, and knowing that work now is going to probably be anywhere but here, it makes no sense for me to. But I got family, I got my parents, which are getting older, and I also don't want to get too far. And that's another thing too, to be, and that's kind of like, yeah. Moving to the other end of the planet may not be too good right now either, but we're taking it day by day. But I'm trying to figure out, really, maybe a hybrid approach, right? Which I already talked to my company about. Work, and they did, they supply a place, and I work, and I just travel back and forth. That makes more sense. Keep my place here. The majority of my time there. Come here for a week every 2 months or something. Keep everybody happy. That would be good, actually. Some sort of hybrid approach. And then, yeah, that's that. Just reading the comments here. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I would say climate change, because the climate's changing all the time. But the thing is, these anomalies, right? Growing up here, it's always been cold, but we always had summer. Like by the end of June, you can go swimming, and it would persist till mid to the end of August. But then when September came around, we all knew time to dress up, because by September 30th, you might have a snow on the ground. But needless to say, I mean, we'd get July and August, and most of July, I remember as a kid, um, even with the AC, sometimes wouldn't keep up. We'd get like heat waves of like, I remember in Toronto, Ontario, it'd be like 47 degrees in mid-August. And we weren't far off, 44 degrees in Timmins, Ontario. And we're talking major heat that would last, 2, 3 weeks, where everybody would complain about it and be happy when it's over. But needless to say, we'd get it every year. Like there'd be that time where you get that heat wave. It'd be short and sweet, but you'd get it, right? The last 5 years, I haven't seen any of that here. It's a long winter, a slow spring. March comes around, it's like winter. April comes along, it's like winter. May comes along, it's like just to say things unthawing. April is here, and it's I don't know. And finally, like I said, you get into June, and it ends up being a big washout. Every month is a rainy. Every day is a rainy day. So spring is here. You want to go out. You're tired because it's winter, but every day is a freaking rainy day, and that's June for you. Next thing you know, you're in July. Everything's a swamp. It's been really weird. The last in the north, in the extreme north, it's been the season. The summer anyway has been completely screwed up, and we haven't even been getting that for what it is, at least July. I would be happy with that, but the fact that this summer was bad. I had to wear a jacket like all through summer. I go out there at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. I need to wear my spring jacket, whether it was July or August. I never put my jacket away this year. And that's when I said to myself, no, no, no. As I'm getting older, no, I can't do this no more. So this is where we're at, and I've been looking at the listings for what the prices are and other places to live. Again, not something I'm going to do now, but um, something I'm thinking about for sure because this is crazy. Yeah. School here, believe it or not, 1 week. Can you believe those kids? Are they gonna they canceled the buses because this storm has been going on for multiple days now. And before that, we had like 4 snow days where they were already. November was really rough, actually. I think 5 days this month they've been to school. It's crazy. Kids love it, but can't be great for the education system. So yeah, that was interesting with the vortex generator. Again, just repeating myself. I know, but I'm just fascinated. I guess it takes small things to get me fascinated. Um, Now I'm thinking maybe I can do it with something like this, because I got the magnets here, and I could like literally twist these around north, south, north, south, north, south, and when this spins, ah, gives me ideas. And by the way, this is something I keep showing, but I got to work on. It's an old hard drive motor, so it's three-phase. I got to get the right controller for there because it's very smooth movement, right? And I've got all these magnets on here, very easy to move around. You could basically blow on there, and all these coils in here, man. What's interesting is it's a coreless design, which means, which if you understand, no opposing. It's a generator that doesn't oppose itself. And as wonderful as that sounds, I never got to it. All I need to do is get a freaking controller just to get that hard drive motor going. And I already got the three-phase rectifier on there ready to go. Just one of those projects I never completed. I've got a lot of projects that I'd like to complete. One day, one day. Heat water, yeah. Mm. Yeah, this is interesting. Now that I have it, I should really. Sometimes I gotta fix the magnets on here. 'Cause what happens is one of them pops out. I gotta glue some of them back. See, it's like totally unfinished. These are the little magnets here, see? I just put them in the base here. Oops. Very powerful. Rare earth, by the way. Oh, when I snap one like this, I really, gotta make sure it's back in the right hole here. Okay. There we go. And the hard drive is like really sweet because I'm hardly, the resistance on those, it's wow. So one day. 3D printer. Do I have a 3D printer? Something that's on my list. Um, Again, those things are a lot of money, and well, it's going down, obviously. Well, the thing is, I don't know how to explain this, but there's a lot of things that I'm holding back on that I don't want to because of my company, right? We're getting very close to being in an R&D phase with a real commercial lab moving forward. So the company is going to need a lot of this stuff, right? That I'm going to be using for exactly what I'm working on. So it's senseless to me to like buy a 3D printer when the company might have like 10 of them, just as an example, right, in the lab. So that's why I'm really you know putting a buffer on a lot of my projects because it's a lot of it is going to be company oriented naturally. So yeah, everything is going up and is more expensive and ugh, life such as it is, right? So if you don't have to spend something personally to get the same result, right? Um, why do that? I'm gonna have to work with it at the company anyways to build exactly what it is that I'd be building here. So, but yeah, I mean, down the road. But the thing is, I'm just not that well set up. It's a little apartment here, and it's just this little room I have as a spare, which is fine for like what you want. Really, And I see a lot of people on YouTube that they make do with exactly the same setup I got. But that's just it. You can't get to that machine shop level when you're in here. So a lot of what I want to do is limit by where I'm at. So again, it all depends how we work out with the company. But if we do well, I do well, and if I do well, it means I could afford a better place. And if I could afford a better place that has a garage, then maybe I'll be able to do more things on my own. You see what I'm getting at? But I just have to have a little bit of patience. That's all. So that's where I'm at. So with that, oh my goodness, it's been 43 minutes live already, and all I was doing was just saying hello. And I better start. Oh wow, it's almost 5 o'clock here, so time for dinner. So with that said, I'm gonna let you go. You go, folks, and I will talk to you very soon and keep posting you and keeping up to date with my progress and experiments. So I just thought I'd be live and say hello and season greetings because we're getting there. Feels like it out there anyways. But you can see, look how quick it gets dark, right? And it was like pretty like hazy from the storm, but now it's like 40 minutes later, it's dark. That's winter for you. So, with that said, folks, thank you for spending time with me, and we will see you next time around. Thank you, and have all a great day, night, whatever it is.